Hello everyone. Today I am back with another chapter, that is chapter 11, Transport in Animals and Plants. You have already studied about transport. What does transport mean? Transport means to carry a thing or some things from one place to another. Now in this chapter we will study about the transport in biological system, that is inside our body and in plants. Now, why do we need this transport system in our body? See, think the process of respiration. In case of respiration, we inhale oxygen from the air and that we take in that oxygen in our lungs. Now, from our lungs, the oxygen is needed to be transported to the different part of your body. Now, who will transport this oxygen to the different cells? Secondly, when you think about the process of digestion, you take in food, the food is digested inside your alimentary canal and then the food is transported to different part of your body. Then the carbon dioxide that is released from the cells need to be transported to the lungs to exhale it out, and the food material or the excretory material is needed to be transported out of your body. So we need to transport so many things inside our body. Now whenever we think of transport, we think about means of transport. So means of transport for you all know that it may be bus, truck or trains, aeroplane, but inside our body what type of means of transport do we have and how it is transported? See, in order to know the transport system inside our body or the transport system of human beings is known as the circulatory system. So in this chapter, first we will know about the circulatory system and how the food is, how the things or the nutrients, food, excretory matter are transported and what are the means of transport. So let's begin with the circulatory system. Let's know about the transport system in humans. This is called circulatory system. The main circulatory system inside our body is the blood circulatory system. Now this blood is a fluid connective tissue. Now it's a fluid. This blood makes each and every nutrients or essential things available to different part of the body like oxygen, food. This blood carries all these things from one part of our body to different part. Now this circulatory system consists of heart and the blood vessels and blood. Now heart, it acts like a pump, blood vessels are like pipes and the blood is the connective tissue which flows inside the blood vessels. Now if you want to make the whole thing clear, think about the water system inside your homes. Like we have a pump. Now that pumps transport the water from underground or from different reservoirs to the tank through some pipes. Now pump is similar to the heart and the blood vessels can be compared with the pipe. Now these pipes are connected from the tank to the different places like the washrooms or the kitchen. Now pipes are equivalent to the blood vessels and the water here can be compared as with the blood. Now let's know about the components of blood in details. If you want to know about the component of blood, let's take an easy example of making a rasna. Yes, now we will understand how we will make rasna. Now in order to make rasna, what you need a glass full of water. Now this water can be compared with the first component of blood, that is plasma. Plasma is the liquid medium where all the other components of bloods are dissolved. Now plasma is a pale yellow colored liquid. 90% of it is made up of water and 3.5% is made up of common salt. Now in this plasma or in this medium, all the other components are dissolved. Now we have compared the glass of water with the plasma. Now but the plasma, I have told the plasma is pale yellow in color, but the color of blood is red. Now you think in the glass of water, then we will add a heap full of rasna powder and that rasna powder will make the whole colorless liquid orange. In the same way, there are some components, specifically RBC, that is red blood cells, that makes the color of the blood red. Now RBCs are specialized cells. They contain a pigment known as hemoglobin. Now this hemoglobin makes the blood red. The function of RBC, or the main function of RBC, is to carry oxygen from the lungs to different part of the body. Now come back to Rasna. Now in case of Rasna, first we have, in a glass full of water, we have added a spoonful of Rasna powder. Now we will add a spoonful of sugar. Now will this sugar change the color of Rasna powder? No. In the same way, the sugar can be compared with the WBC. Now what are WBC? WBC are white blood cells. Now they doesn't have any color, but they have a specific function. They are responsible for immunity. You can think that these WBCs are our soldiers which fight against the infection. Now, if any bacteria or virus enters inside our body, then this WBC will fight against them and forms antibodies and will kill these virus and bacteria. Now, the last component of the blood are platelets. Come back to Rasna. First we have added a spoonful of Rasna powder, then sugar, and then we will add a pinch of salt. Now this pinch of salt can be compared with platelets. Now these platelets are fragments of cells which are formed inside the bone marrow. These platelets, they have a specific function. What is the function? They have the ability of blood clotting. See, whenever you're playing, or suddenly if you're cutting some vegetables and suddenly if you get a cut, then what will happen? The blood will start flowing from that area. And if you notice, after some time, a jelly-like substance is formed and the blood stops flowing from that area. How? Or what is that jelly-like thing? That is actually the blood clot, and that is done by the platelets. Now, if we just sum it up, the blood have 4 major components: plasma, RBC, WBC and platelets. This plasma, the main function of plasma is to carry the dissolved nutrients from our alimentary canals to different body part and carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. RBC, the main function is to carry oxygen. WBC fights, they are the soldier which fight against the infections, and platelets help in blood clotting. Now let's know the different blood vessels. Now in our body there are 3 different types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. Now these 3 blood vessels carry different type of blood. Now different type of blood means, in case of artery, they carry blood that is rich in oxygen, that is they carry oxygenated blood, and veins, they carry blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, that is in turn called deoxygenated blood. And capillaries are the junction point where artery and vein meets. Now generally all arteries, they carry oxygenated blood from the heart to different part of the body, and veins, they carry deoxygenated blood from the different part of the body to the lungs. But there is an exception. In case of artery, pulmonary artery, which is present inside the heart, carries deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein, which is present inside the heart, carries oxygenated blood. Now the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein and the structure of heart we will learn in details now. Now let's have an idea of the circulatory system in human beings. See, it's like a flow chart. I have drawn the diagram. What are these? These are our 2 lungs. Now this is the representative diagram of a heart. If you see, you can easily see there are 4 chambers. This chamber is known as, the upper 2 chambers are known as atrium or auricles, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. This atrium is called the right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle and the left ventricles. Now all these 4 chambers are interconnected with a door type of thing. These are known as valves. Now according to our need, these valves can be opened or closed. Now see here, in this case, this is the main vein which is carrying the blood from the different part of the body, and this main vein is called vena cava. It is the main vein, and so you know that veins carry deoxygenated blood, that is the blood rich in carbon dioxide. So the blood rich in carbon dioxide first enters the right atrium. Now when the right atrium gets completely filled, then there is a contraction in the atrium. The atrium will contract, so these doors or the valves will open and the blood will come down to the ventricle. Now when the ventricles will be completely filled, then what will happen? There will be a ventricular contraction. Now the blood from ventricle will move to the lungs through this artery. Now this artery is known as pulmonary artery. Now you see, this artery is carrying blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, that is deoxygenated blood, and you know that arteries, they carry oxygenated blood. So pulmonary artery which is present in the heart is an exception. Keep in mind, pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. Now from the pulmonary artery, the blood reaches the lungs, and here what happens? The exchange of gases. Now the lungs are rich in capillaries. See, these capillaries in the alveoli are rich in capillaries. There the exchange of gases will take place. Now what will happen? Now this blood present inside the lungs is filled with oxygen, that is oxygenated blood. Now the oxygenated blood from the lungs will enter the heart. This is oxygenated blood through this vein. Yes, again, veins, they carry deoxygenated blood, but this vein is carrying oxygenated blood, so it is an exception. So this vein is also known as pulmonary vein. Now by this pulmonary vein, the oxygenated blood reaches the left atrium. Now the left atrium will be completely filled. Actually the tooth process, like from the veins, from the different part of the body through vein, the blood is coming to the right atrium, and from the lungs it is coming to the left atrium. Now when both this atrium will be filled up completely, then there will be an atrium contraction, then the blood will flow to the left ventricle, and when the ventricles will be filled, there will be a ventricular contraction, and through this main artery, this is called aorta, it will go to different parts of the body. Now you will see, this is the artery and this is the vein. This is the artery and this is the vein. Now these veins and arteries are connected with each other through this capillaries. Now capillaries are present everywhere in the vital organs, in the skin. Now these are the capillaries which join the arteries with the vein. In this way, you will see that our circulatory system works. That is, from the different part of the body, via the veins, it will go to the heart. Again, with the via pulmonary artery, it will reach the lungs. From the lungs, the exchange of gases will take place, and from the lungs via pulmonary vein, it will reach the left atrium, then to the ventricles, and then it will be pumped out through the arteries to different part of the body. This is just a diagrammatic representation of circulatory system. We often hear about the word or the term heartbeat. Now what is a heartbeat? Just now we have already discussed about the circulation of blood in the heart, where the auricle or the atrium contracts and relaxes and the ventricle contracts and relaxes. Now the cycle or one complete contraction and one complete relaxation makes one heartbeat. Now in case of average human being, a heart beats in a minute around 70 to 80 times. Whenever we do a vigorous exercise or after running, it may increase to 100, 150 or up to 200 heartbeats per minute. Now why does the heart beat so fast when we are doing any exercise? As you know that while doing any vigorous exercise, we need more amount of oxygen, or the supply of or the need of oxygen increases. So if we increase the flow of blood by pumping the blood, so we can also increase the supply of oxygen. Now if you go to a doctor, then you will see a common instrument which is known as stethoscope. Now stethoscope has three parts like a earpiece and a chest piece and the rubber tube. Now earpiece is inserted inside our ears, and in the chest piece there is a flap of rubber type of thing that is called diaphragm, which can amplify the heartbeat. By listening the heartbeat, the doctor gets the clue about the condition of the heart. Every time when our heart beats, the blood from the heart rushes to the arteries and the arteries expand a bit. Due to expansion of the artery, we can feel a vibration in our artery. Generally, if you touch this portion in our wrist, then you can feel the vibration that is known as pulse. For an average human being, the heart rate is 72 to 80 beats per minute. That is equivalent to the pulse. Our pulse rate is also equal to 72 to 80 beats per minute. See, whenever you go to visit a doctor, then the doctor usually holds your wrist and they used to measure the pulse rate. Now this pulse rate is equivalent to your heartbeat. Now in this video we have discussed about the transport system or the circulatory system in human beings, the components of blood, different types of arteries, different type of blood vessels, that is arteries, veins and capillaries, and the heartbeat and the pulse. In the next video we will learn about the excretion and transport in plants. Till then, bye.